So now here's another tough act that I have to introduce. Paulette, how do we, come on. Yeah, you can stand here. Don't be shy, because I know how shy you are. So Paulette Jones has been involved in the science of mind for 25 years. She told me that this morning, so.
Oh, I lied.
Perhaps you were merely mistaken.
Maybe.
Maybe. See, this is like.
Never mistaken.
Certainty is not always accuracy.
I'm certain of it.
Let's see, a bachelor's in computer science and an MBA, and traveled extensively through North America, Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. I got off your website. She's really smart. She's in Mensa. A member of SAG-AFTRA and has her own IMDb page.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? So Paulette is...
$20 will get me a latte.
You must order the really fancy ones. So Paulette is an actress, a comedian, a motivational speaker, trainer, coach, author, and she is here with us this morning to captivate us with both her wit and her wisdom. So please welcome Paulette Jones.
Thank you. That was beautiful. I don't know who he was talking about, but it is wonderful to be here. God bless you. Thank you for inviting me into your homes, into your hearts, into your spiritual community. I am pleased as punch to be here today. Thank you so much. And today I am going to talk about, first of all, while I was sitting, it's an amazing, what you do with that is amazing. So in honor of that, I'm going to play a 17th century song that you know. I would do that. The only thing standing in my way is I have no idea how to play a harp. So once I get that straightened out, though, I'm coming back for a harp session. I am. God bless you. Thanks again for being here. Today I want to talk to you about an agreement with life, about you. I'm talking about me, but I'm really talking about you. And so as we go through this, even though I am saying things like the I am, I'm speaking in the I am, I urge you to personalize it, use your own I am, and think of it in terms of yourself. And by the way, I'm going to start out with a shameful, or shameless, I guess, shameless commercial announcement. Did you know we're having a workshop after this, starting at 1 o'clock today? We are. It'll be wonderful. And I'd love for you to attend, because I've done all the work and you just kind of got to shop. So that's what workshops for me are all about. So I'm talking to you about some amazing stuff. Do we have a clicker? Do we have a remote up here somewhere so I can go through these slides? Just say it. John, yeah, a couple more. Yeah, I'll tell you when to stop. Keep going. Keep going. That's it. Stop right there. So I thought I'd throw all these bullets out once to give you an idea about what I'm talking about, so I don't surprise anybody and you just get up and leave. So let's hope that doesn't help. You know what today we're searching for? We are searching for your higher self. And as it turns out, your higher self is also searching for you. That's right. So we are searching for each other. Your higher self is identical to who you are, only you don't know it. You haven't woken up to it yet. And so today I'm going to issue a wake-up call. I'm going to give you some information, some structures to come to the major question about who you are. You know, I think life's about relationships, right? So when you talk to someone, people say, hey, who are you? And you respond in things like, well, I'm a father, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a brother, I'm a teacher, I'm an employee of I have some kind of relationship with life, right? Other kinds of relationships. And at times I define myself by those relationships. Oh, I'm so-and-so, I'm this, I'm affiliated with this organization, et cetera, because life is really all about relationships, and we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how to capture the best of those relationships and integrate it, weave it into the very fabric of your soul, the very fabric of your soul. I think if life could be about one thing, it would be contacting your higher self, understanding the nature of really who you are, not who I am. That isn't about what we're about today, not about who I am, but who you are, and making a covenant, an agreement with God that takes into account your life, the individual particulars of your particular life. And that's what we're really talking about. If life could be about one thing, it would be about discovering who you really are. And today I think we're going to take a big step toward discovering who you really are. I am constantly discovering who I am. I just discovered that I don't know how to play the harp, as an example. See? I'm finding out all kinds of goodies about myself. You know, we stand in this. Life is about change, isn't it? Life is about change. As long as, you know, people have been talking about the nature of reality, they've been talking about things like, you know, particles versus waves. What they're really talking about is the nature of waves, which animates the entire universe. We're about change. Things are changing constantly as we are changing here. You are under a continual change. Did you know that? Every part of your body was not in existence 7 years ago. 7 years ago, you started rebuilding your body, and you're continually doing that. And as you go through this process, every several years, it's a new you. It's a new you, but there is some essence, there is some beautiful essence that is within you that continues to be the same. It is the constant, and that's what we're searching for, the constant you. And you are discovering that you are a divine being. So we stand in this torrent of thoughts. Thoughts come at us at somewhere around the range of 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Can you believe that? So we stand in this river. Erasmus, a 4th century philosopher, mathematician, you would also call him, I suppose, he said you can never stand in the same river twice. And that's true because it's constantly changing. Think about the nature of your life. It is constantly changing. And we are assailed by thousands of thoughts every day, thousands of thoughts that just go through our minds. So how am I to pick something out of that torrent of thoughts, those torrent of emotions that come along with those thoughts? I think of something and then it's gone. How are we supposed to pull something of meaning out of that? I got a clue today, and it's called the covenant with life. You know, in my last corporate job, one of the responsibilities I had was negotiating multi-billion-dollar contracts across many companies, many currencies, et cetera. Very, very, very complex and worth billions of dollars. But what it taught me was the importance of a contract. The importance of contract. It codifies responsibilities. It sets expectations. And it creates a relationship and creates a living document that allows you to guide that relationship to more profit, to the betterment of humanity. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about creating a safe harbor. You know, like I said, we are continually assailed by things. There are so many things out there that happen to us that we can't control. I can't control all of those things out there, but one thing I can control is my reaction to it. And so I'm talking today about your reaction to what happens to you in life. The life, all of that stuff out there, you have no control over your neighbors or other things that go on or diseases or whatever it is. But you can have this ability to seek safe harbor. And when you do that, I'm using a lot of water metaphors this morning, so I may be going to the bathroom before long, but I'm using these water metaphors, and you know, we're like on a ship on the stormy sea, and we're being blown around. But we have the ability to set the sail, to set the rudder, and to seek safe harbors. There's a woman named Edna Wheeler Wilcox who wrote this poem that said, "One ship sets east, the other sails west, driven by the same winds that blow. It's the set of the sail and not the gale that determine the way that you go." So that's basically an idea about your power. You are an incredibly powerful individual. And today I want to talk to you about unlocking that. We're talking about vision and planning. That's what this is an idea that is about vision and planning, about taking control of your own destiny, taking control of your own life, and living the life that you were meant to be. But in order to do that, we first have to engage in something called sacred speculation, sacred introspection. We have to look at who we are, and we have to ask some very basic questions. So from that perspective, when someone comes up and asks you questions, well, they may say, who are you? And you may respond, oh, I'm a parent. Now, I could tell you, I'm a parent. I have 4 daughters. I have 3 granddaughters. They are the love of my life. And if I tell you that, that gives you one aspect of who I am. I could tell you that I'm a military veteran, that I served during the Vietnam War. Not in combat, but I was served in the military. I could tell you all about that. And I could tell you about my acting career. And I could tell you about degrees. I could tell you about all of this sort of stuff. But if you come to me and ask me, who am I in the context of who I really am, the essence of who I am at the very core of my being, I would say to you that I'm healthy, successful, wealthy, intelligent, beautiful, witty, capable, powerful, loving, and happy. I stand in the truth of who I am, and I joyfully embrace the boundless possibilities of who I am becoming. I bring the best of who I am to whatever I do. I live with honor and integrity. I approach every day with a smile, an open heart, an attitude of gratitude, and a continuous sense of wonder and awe. I love, honor, and protect my children and those entrusted to my care, and I teach them through my living example about the goodness and the endless beauty of life. I use my talents, resources, and abilities to enhance the lives of other people. I maintain my sense of humor, and I continually learn and grow, and I accept complete responsibility for the outcomes of my life that are the result of choices that I have made. And that, my friends, is who I am. I am. You can be that too, but you're not going to do it as well as I do. So you got to be yourself. You got to be yourself. So this beautiful poem about life is based upon introspection, sacred introspection, what I refer to as the 4 domains of life, and that's the next slide. So I made this up in my mind, right? This is all nonsense that I made up, but it really kind of makes sense to me. Anything you've ever read, somebody made up. Maybe they stole it from somebody else, but they made it up. So I made some stuff up, and here it is. This is all made up stuff. But I've divided the human condition into these 4 domains, I like to call them. And they're really at the essence, I believe, of who we all are. And the first domain I want to talk to you about is the idea of goodness. But there are 4 of them, right? So I take all of these 4 domains, and at the intersection in this Venn diagram, at the intersection is my covenant, which is me. It's a sacred document that is an essence of who I am. And how did I get it to be an essence of who I am? I asked the right questions. So much time in my life has been wasted answering the wrong questions. You got to ask the right questions if you want to get the right answers. So here's a question. If I look at the domain of goodness, what kind of goodness do I want to see manifested in my life? Do I want to see things like I'm healthy, successful, wealthy, intelligent, beautiful, witty, capable, powerful, loving, and happy? Is that what I want to see? Or do I want to walk around and say, gee, I'm broke. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm ugly, too. God, I look in the mirror. I'm ugly. Nobody wants to have lunch with me. Duh. Duh. Who wants to go to lunch with somebody like that? I don't. Yeah, let's go to Denny's and be miserable together. I mean, besides just the food. No, I'm kidding. I love Denny's. No. So let's talk about the idea of goodness. Let's talk about the idea of goodness. What are the good things I want to see in my life? Well, write them down. Is it health, success, wealth, intelligence, beautiful? Or is it, I want to play the victim my whole life? Oh, everybody's out to get me. Yeah. Duh. Why not? So what I want to do is embrace what I do want. I want to fill my life with what I do want. I don't want to fill my life with ideas that I can't play the harp. I don't want to do that. I want to talk about what I can do, what I'm capable of doing, what I want to see manifest in life. And for me, I want to be healthy, successful, wealthy, intelligent, beautiful, witty, loving, and happy. And I want to put in my order to the universe. You got to put in your order to the universe. You got to write it down so that people know what you're talking about. And failure to do that is like sitting at some cosmic lunch counter and they say, what do you want? You say, oh, bring me anything. And they bring it and you complain. Well, I'll never eat here again. You got to place your order if the kitchen knows what you want, so the kitchen knows what you want, so that the universe knows what you want. You want to declare it to the universe and make it part and parcel of who you are. A little later, we're going to talk about making this part of your consciousness, a consciousness that is at one with the universe, and we'll talk about that for a little while. So once you understand this idea, the first question, what are the states of goodness? Will you excuse me for a second? I have to get something to drink. I'm so dry, it feels like I'm sucking on sandpaper up here. So can you just bear with me a second? Thank you, thank you. Go on, talk among yourselves. Okay, now I'm going to take a little nap. If you don't mind, I'll be back. Hang in there. So the second kind of question is values. What are my value system? You know, people say, oh, I have values. You say, what are they? Oh, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I got some. So, yeah, what are your values? If you want to declare your values to the universe, then write them down. You got to go through that process. It can't tell you how beneficial it is to write it down. It solidifies it in your mind. And again, we're putting in our order to the universe. So what are those values? You know, I'm courageous, I'm helpful, I'm compassionate, I'm kind, I'm intelligent, you know, those kind of things. Or you can walk around and say, you know, my values are I'm going to get what I can get and screw everybody else. There are people who have those kind of values. That's fine, they're their values. But you want to know what your values are. I suspect those aren't your values. So what are your values? Do you want to be, you know, are your values things like courage, compassion, kindness, lovingness, blah, 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 happiness, whatever it is? What are those values that you seek? And then next, relationships. In the absence of relationships, the universe doesn't exist. Think about that. The building blocks of the universe are something called quarks. And quarks come together to form subatomic particles. It's amazing. So you can't have anything. Nothing exists in the absence of relationships. And it's really important to know the nature of your relationships as they exist right now, and how I want to see them exist. So if I want to see them right now in a certain way, I got to start declaring that, don't I? You know, for instance, my son and I have an amazing relationship, you might say, even though the current reality is you can't be in the same room together without picking up weapons. So declare, you have to be aware. Oh, come on, get up. We have someone passing out. Someone want to call 911 over here. Oh, God. So relationships are really important. You know, you got to understand them as they are now, but also as you want them to be. And by the way, did I mention we're having a workshop after this? It'll be great, like I'm doing the work, you're doing the shopping, remember? So remember all that? So we're going to go through this. I've done all the work. I've given you forms that you can fill out, and we're going to do some brainstorming in that workshop. And I'm telling you, it's a life changer. Well, it changes my life because I make money, but I didn't mean it that way at all. So it is a life changer. And if you can't afford anything, that's fine. We want you there anyway. We want your spirit. We're not that interested in your money. Don't believe it. But we do recommend $1 million minimum. So, but you may say, Paulette, I don't have $1 million that's in the disposable income right now. We understand. So 500K is just fine. So anyway, we'd like to see you there. So we're talking about the nature of these relationships as we want them to be. And finally, we create a contract with life, how am I going to conduct my life? You know, the very basis of Western philosophy is based upon the Greeks, go figure. And Greek philosophy is based upon 3 fundamental questions. That's it. That's all Greek philosophy or classical philosophy is ever about. The idea of what do I know and how do I come to know it? And the second one is how do I conduct my life? And the third is how do we come together as societies to create the betterment of man, as reflected, say, in Plato's Republic. But the very basic, the center one here is this idea about, you know, conduct. How do I conduct my life? Based upon the idea that I understand my goodness, I understand what my values are, I understand the nature of relationships as they exist now and as I want them to exist. And once I put all that together, I come up with this idea about the covenant with life, an amazing covenant with life. So what I've done now is, can we go back one slide, please? You're doing a great job there. I think we should all, you know, applaud his finger, John's finger. Yeah. Your finger is doing, so he's giving us all the finger, and, oh, I didn't mean it that way. So we look at these 4 domains, and we try to map it to this, see those colors there, blue and orange and green and purple. Of course, if you're colorblind, you're not seeing any of that probably. But let's go back to the next slide, and then one click. So next slide, please. And now one more click. Give us the finger one more time. Good. Okay, so it says here, I am healthy, successful, wealthy, intelligent, beautiful, witty, loving, and happy. That is the domain of goodness. Those are the kind of things that I want to see manifest in my life, and for the most part, they are. You've got to declare a truth before it becomes a reality in your life. Declare it and make it part and parcel of who you are. And the first one I would recommend, you know, you probably want to keep these things below 10, or 10 maybe might be the max number because you kind of run out of piggies after 10, unless you're deformed, in which case you could go to 11 or 12 if you have that many toes. But anyway, that isn't really the gating item. I don't know what I'm talking about. Hi, how are you? Oh, good morning. I just arrived back here after traveling to God knows where. So anyway, so remember we talked about these 4 domains, and we talked about the idea of your goodness. What do you want to see manifest in your life? And the next is your value system. One more finger, please. The value system. So I've circled all of those kind of things that represent values: truth, joy, honor, integrity, gratitude, love, honor, goodness, humor, learn and grow, responsibility. Those are kind of values that I want. So I've integrated them into this document based upon the list that I drew up when I was asking the right questions. Remember, this is about asking the right questions. So we ask the right questions, and the right question for us right here is, what are my value systems? Write them down. I'm sure you have values, and I'm sure you're probably somehow in touch with them, but my guess is a lot of times it's hard to articulate them. So articulate them, and in doing so, you're putting in, again, your order to the universe. So let's hit that button one more time. We'll look at the green stuff. The green stuff was about action that I take, my relationships that I take. So I'm becoming my children entrusted to other people. So we do have relationships with a lot of other people. And by the way, we also have relationships with things like money, right? So, or food, or drugs, or whatever it is. We have relationships with all these other things. If that's an important part of your life, a significant component of who you are, then let's understand that part of the relationship as well. Money comes to me fluidly and easily without effort, as an example. That might be one of your things. If your issues with money are a big part of your life, or whatever, food or whatever it is, whatever is part of your life. It can be people, in my case it is, but it doesn't have to be. And at the workshop, did I mention we're having a workshop today? I think I might have case I didn't, we are. And so we're having this workshop, and you ask these particular very profound questions in a very friendly, nurturing, kind environment. So let's go to the last one. Yeah, here we go. And then about action, my conduct. What do I do with all that? I stand, I bring, I live, I approach, I love, I use, I maintain, I learn, I accept, et cetera, et cetera. Those are kind of actions that I take. So you see how this is kind of folding into this situation about creating a covenant with life, an agreement. I like the word covenant. I think that's a little more sacred annotation. It reveals an element of spirituality that perhaps contract or agreement don't. But basically, we're talking about the same thing. One more. Yeah. So here I want to talk about you. And I want to talk about this. I love AI these days. You can generate such beautiful images with AI with a few prompts. So what I was trying to get here is I'm trying to talk to you about the connection between your consciousness and the universe, between your consciousness and all that is. And as it turns out, I want to turn to a guy named Spinoza, who is a 17th century philosopher. And Spinoza believed that the universe itself was God, that God and the universe are inseparable, that the universe is self-creating, and as such, the universe is the creation. So the universe is both the creator and the creation. And our individual consciousness is all part of that. When we recognize that, consider also the Bhagavad Gita, which is an amazing, beautiful spiritual work based as part of what is known as the Mahabharata, the great epic of India, and is part of spiritual tradition. And in that, Lord Krishna talks to General Arjuna on the field of battle and displays himself as the totality of the universe, that the universe, Krishna is the universe, and that the universe is Krishna. So when we think of God as the universe, and we think about our connection, that's how we do this. We plug in. We do it by repetition, over and over and over and over. And you see me recite this thing, and it's so easy. It just flows because I've done it hundreds and hundreds, thousands of times, over and over. It is my safe harbor, so I can do it while I'm cleaning the house, or maybe not cleaning the house. So I can do it in all kinds of situations. Wherever I am, I can recite this, and the more I do, it becomes more of my consciousness, and my consciousness is connected to the God of Spinoza, to the universe, the totality of the universe, a universe which continually expands, and a universe which creates itself. But it does so at the amazing thing of the behest of your consciousness, at the very core of the universe, the very center. When you get down to spaces that are millimeters, 10 to the minus 34th of a millimeter. So you take a millimeter, you chop it up into a number that is 1 with 33 zeros behind it. You chop it up, so it's an infinitesimal small space. And what it really is all about, it's about us, our ability to influence this amazing thing. Matter pops in and out of existence in response to what? In response to you, in response to your consciousness. So today, I urge you to understand your relationship with the universe, to take advantage of that relationship. You are a beloved child of God. You are a godlike being. William Shakespeare said in Hamlet, it was Hamlet talking to his friend, I forgot which one it was, Rosencrantz, I think it was. In any event, he says to him, "What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god." You are a god. William Shakespeare thinks that you are like a god. You have the godlike ability to create a universe that fits in with you, who you are. What are your priorities? What are the things that you value? What do you want to see manifest in your life? What's the nature of reality? And given all that, how am I going to conduct my life? With honor and integrity? How do I conduct my life? But I have to understand that I am a part of the universe, and I am connected with the universe, and as such, I am the totality of the universe. God, that sounds egotistical, but it's true. It's true. You wonder how I can get a hat on with a head that big. It's true. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me too, but I'm really talking about you, the essence of who you are. So let me go through this, if I could. Give me one more finger there for the next slide. It's consciousness. We want to talk about we're conditioning our consciousness. We are expanding our consciousness, and we are connecting to the universe, a universe that is filled with God, love, and light, and us. Next slide, please. Okay, so I want to talk about this. Standing in the truth of who I am and joyfully embrace the boundless possibilities of who I am becoming. That's one of the items in my covenant that I talked about, because we are continually changing. We are always changing. It's the nature of the universe to continually change. So if we are changing, and if we can accept the concept that we really are changing, then we have the ability to consciously control that change. And how do we do that? It's by focusing on what we want in our life, the goodness that we can do in our lives, as opposed to the things that really make us angry. If we continue to focus on that, we continue to focus on bad news that we see almost every night, and we continue to focus on that and become part of it, we're selling ourselves out. We have the right to be happy, successful, wealthy, intelligent, beautiful, witty. God wants that for us. I want that for us, and mostly you want that for us. You want all of that kind of thing, and I'm giving you a roadmap of how to do it. And by the way, we're having a workshop after this in case. Geez, you guys hate me, I know. But we're going to do a workshop anyway, whether you hate me or not. So embrace this change with joy. Remember who you are. You are a divine being. I love you. God loves you. Oh, God loves you. So enjoy that love. Bask in that love. Practice that love. Pass it on. Pass it on. I see that because I love you folks. I come in here, I get all kinds of hugs. My arms are aching at the end of all of this. But it's a wonderful experience because God lives here. I can sense God. I can sense the presence of God. And your smile right back there, sir. I can see it. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Beautiful smile, and I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you all for being here today. But don't applaud. I got more to say. I think. Do I have anything more to say? Let's go to the next slot here. So the next, can we hit? All right. Okay, the methodology, we talked about that. We're almost out of time, so I got to hurry up and talk real fast. So here we go. I'm going to talk real fast. So the methodology we kind of covered. So let's go to what I believe the final slot is. The ball is in your court. The ball is in your court. Any moment, at any given time, we have the ability to change our lives, to make decisions that are going to impact the world. So I urge you, you've got a decision in front of you right now. Do you want to come to the workshop that I mentioned? We're having a workshop. We're having this workshop. You want to come to that? Or you can go home and do whatever it is. Go rob that liquor store that you've had your eye on, or whatever it is that you're up busy doing today. And but I love you either way, whether you show up. But I'm going to love you more if you show up. No, I'll still hate you. No, anyway, I love you guys. Well, happy Sunday. And by the way, hello to Dr. Stephen, or Reverend Stephen. I don't think he can hear us. I think he's out in like where there's cyber Neverland somewhere. But you are often in our minds and always in our hearts, Reverend Stephen. So thank you. And you guys are often in my minds and always in my heart. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. You're amazing. Thank you.